Hello everyone, today we will study about peptides. In the previous video we have seen the structure of amino acids, and all of you know that amino acids are the monomeric units of proteins or polypeptide chain, and two amino acids are linked together by peptide bond in which carboxylic group of one amino acid reacts with amino group of adjacent amino acid, and the one molecule of water is removed like this, and there is formation of peptide bond, that is CONH between two amino acids. Okay, so when these two amino acids are linked together by peptide bond, then at the one end there is amino group that is known as N terminus, and at the another end carboxylic group is there, that is known as C terminus. Okay, so you can also see here like this, in a peptide chain adjacent amino acids are linked together by peptide bond, and at one end on N terminus is there, and at the other end C terminus of polypeptide chain is there. Now, depending on the number of amino acid molecules comprising the chain, the peptide may be termed as dipeptide, tripeptide, dipeptide which contain 2 amino acids, tripeptide which contain 3 amino acids, and so on, tetra, penta, etc. Okay, and if peptide is made up of not more than 10 amino acids, then it is called an oligopeptide, and beyond that it is a polypeptide. In general, now the two ends of the peptide chains are named as amino terminal and carboxy terminal, as I have already told you. Now here the stereochemistry of peptide bond. You can see here, this is the alpha carbon atom of one amino acid, which is this amino acid is linked to adjacent amino acid through peptide bond. Now you can see here the bond length of this alpha carbon atom to carbonyl carbon atom is 0.153 nanometer, and this bond can be rotated. Then the bond length of carbonyl carbon atom and the amine nitrogen atom is 0.132 nanometer, and here the bond length of carbonyl carbon and carbonyl oxygen is 0.124 nanometer. Now you can see here this amine nitrogen and the bond present between amine nitrogen and alpha carbon atom is also rotate. It can also rotate, but here this bond, that is the bond present between carbonyl carbon and amine nitrogen, cannot rotate. Why? Because you can see here the bond length of this carbonyl carbon and alpha carbon atom is 0.153 nanometer, that is a single bond, and the bond length of carbonyl carbon and carbonyl oxygen is 0.124 nanometer, that is a double bond, and the bond length between carbonyl carbon and amine nitrogen is 0.132 nanometer, that is in between two double and single bond. So actually this bond acts as a partial double bond characteristic, and that's why this bond cannot rotate, while the carbonyl carbon and alpha carbon atom bond can rotate, and the bond present between amine nitrogen and alpha carbon atom can also rotate. So you can see here all these atoms which form the peptide bond present in a plane. Okay, and this is the planar structure, and you can see here, you can imagine in a long polypeptide chain. This long polypeptide chain are the backbone of this polypeptide chain is made up by this rigid peptide bond, and whatever flexibility is present in polypeptide chain is just only because of their side chain, because the peptide bond form their rigid backbone. Okay, now the peptide bond is an imide bond and has a planar structure, I have already told you, and these bonds are part of the peptide. 3 bonds are the part of the peptide bonds. We have already discussed this, the alpha carbon to carbonyl carbon, then carbon nitrogen bonds, and the imide nitrogen to alpha carbon bond, and CN bond limits rotation about it. Now some of the oligopeptides are of biological importance. For example, first one, all the oligopeptides serve as intermediates in the formation of proteins. Then second importance, they possess antibacterial activities and usually present in fungi and bacteria. Granicidin S is an antibiotic that is produced by Bacillus gravis. Then third one, certain hormones secreted by high animals are peptide hormones. For example, oxytocin are small peptides having 9 amino acids and secreted by posterior pituitary gland. Then bradykinin is a peptide that is made up of 9 amino acids and which causes inflammation of tissues. Then another example is antiphallus, which is formed in the central nervous system and bind to receptors in certain cells of the brain and induce analgesia, that is the deadening of pain sensation. Apart from it, for example, glutathione is also a peptide which takes part in electron transfer reactions and oxidation reduction reactions in RBCs. Okay, so these are the biological importance of peptides or oligopeptides, and some of the examples of important oligopeptides are